Well, spring for many of us means finals football and Group 1 racing, and finals football is around the corner and the great horses are on track today. Very Elegant. Can she win the George Main Stakes? Chris Waller has 4 of the 7 runners. He's looking for Group 1. 113 in the Sir Rupert Clark Stakes. Damien Oliver 30 years ago won his first Group 1. He's looking for 120. Behemoth, who's trained on the beach at Goolwa, he should go around the favourite, and Tagaloa looking for his first win since the Blue Diamond. Hi everybody and welcome to 7's Saturday afternoon racing. Hopefully we can find your winner. And the menu, you've got the sprinters, the stayers, and there's a bit of a Cox Plate Caulfield Cup watch. Yeah, well, just the good horse in the Rupert Clark and the George Main in Sydney, aren't they? And the speedsters and the shorts, the promising fillies and the T-Rows, and good race the Mares race, the How Now, plus the Naturalism, trying to get a berth in the Caulfield Cup, some of those stayers. Absolutely.
Well, look, 18 Group 1 winners around the 2 states today, Heyman. I've gone with Very Elegant. It's probably the horse I want to see most. She's in the George Main. She's already won 4 Group 1s. A wonderful relationship with James McDonald. Catalyst, 6 out of 7 in New Zealand, 0 out of 2 in Australia, but oh so good against Alligator Blood. Can Tagaloa become the 6th 3-year-old to win the Sir Rupert Clark? I think he's got a great chance in that. And Gamekeeper, Heyman, I'm just looking for a horse to jump out of the naturalism. Now, he's about the 3rd favourite, but I reckon he's the one with 50 kg that'll be a real chance in the Caulfield Cup if he gets the job done today.
And he's got a great book of rides today, including Probabile in the Bill Ritchie, Imaging in the Group 1, and Classique Legend on his way into the Everest. Rachel King's been going well as Tommy Berry. But the story of the week is Hugh Bowman. He was given a 20-meeting suspension on Thursday. So he's got a handy book of rides today, but, you know, he's going to appeal that suspension, but I'm sure he's going to be feeling the pressure today.
Absolutely, Katie.
He's an absolute star, isn't he? He's a champion jockey, and the longevity that he's had during his career is unbelievable. And I think he can beat George Moore's record of 126 Group 1 wins. I think he can get another one on the board today with Cascadian. And
Katie, he doesn't seem to have lost anything.
No, not at all. He's still riding at the top, isn't he? And that's so hard to do. He really is a star.
It's great to be with you for a big day of Group 1 racing. We've got a couple of Kiwis to keep an eye out for on the programmes of both Randwick and Caulfield. Let's kick it off with Catalyst, who goes around in the shorts. And he, of course, has seen over 1,100 metres in a fresh state. I think that might be a little bit short for him. However, he gets the blinkers on and, wow, in a trial here in New Zealand prior to heading over the Tasman, he was dazzling. I love the fact that Glenn Boss has also been involved in this horse's preparation. He was, of course, instrumental in Ocean Park, who was successful in taking out the Cox Plate a few years ago. Can't wait to see Catalyst back on track. He is dazzling when at his best. Another of interest on that Randwick card is Probabile, sensational in a fresh state, and she steps back up to a distance that we saw her win her Group 1 Surround Stakes. That's the 1,400 metres. Let's get you down to Caulfield, and scraping into the Sir Rupert Clark as Harlech comes in as the first emergency. He was a really good 3-year-old. He was maybe just a notch below the best, but has placings behind Catalyst and a 4th in behind Probabile as well last season. Exciting to see him step out, and perhaps he has matured from 3 to 4. I'm with another Kiwi in that race, an Age of Chivalry. Lovely preparation and has a nice sense of timing about this 3rd up run. And finally, on home shores, we've got Avantage. She's the very short-priced favourite in our first Group 1 of the season. This time last year, it was the start of Melody Bell's Triple Crown win before she jumped the ditch and took out the Empire Rose. I'm sure the team will be doing the same with Avantage if she could be as successful through all 3 of those legs. Good luck with your punting this afternoon, and go the Kiwis.
A quick break. Katie's going to talk to us about jockeys, the brilliant athletes they are, and their training and how much they go through to be as fit as they are on race day. And then to Caulfield, great race coming up. William Thomas, Dean Lester's Value Bet of the Day, taking on Octane and Front Page. And Group 1 racing at both Randwick and Caulfield. All ahead. Hope you're enjoying Saturday afternoon racing. It was a fabulous race, the T-Rose, 1,400 metres, yellow and white silks, just nursing and cuddling Tommy Berry, and you thought, can she run out a strong 1,400? Will Hungry Heart run her down? And that's how it transpired. Dame Giselle, so brave. Hungry Heart didn't quite get there, but they'll meet again. That is for certain. And the 2 jockeys are the leading jockeys, Katie, in the premiership. Tommy Berry smiling this time. James McDonald will be, I'm sure, soon. They're just wonderful athletes.
They are, and you know, they treat themselves like that too. They've got a really good trainer in Trent Langlands who trains a lot of the jockeys who we're about to see. During the week, Breton of Dulla, he was out there training. They do a lot of this stuff to work their core, different muscles. It just gets them out of their usual sort of the running with the sweat gear on and sweating in the bath. It gets tiresome for them. So this is Sam Clipperton, working different sort of muscles, and you know, they're just so balanced, these jockeys, and they work so hard. So it keeps them right mentally and physically as well.
Beautiful balance, Katie, which you need on a horse.
That's right. Balance is a massive thing, and that's Hugh Bowman. He's just sort of in the jockey position, working his muscles there at the top, and you've got to, as well as being balanced, you must be strong. So
I tried to jump those beams, Katie. I'd either snap the beam or knock myself out. Anyway, Group 1s in both states. Randwick, the George Main Stakes. It's Weight for Age. It's Group 1. Avilius, Dreamforce, Colding, Imaging, Star of the Seas, Very Elegant, and Colette. It is a beauty in the Sir Rupert Clarke Race 8 at Caulfield. It's all ahead on a Saturday afternoon on 7. O'Brien having a win there. He's trying to win the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes with Banquo. But we're also looking at the George Main Stakes. It's the Weight for Age, and there's Very Elegant running in it. And Katie, she's just had a look at the history. It was first run in 1945. Today, Very Elegant will go around favourite. Avilius, Dreamforce, Colding, Imaging, Star of the Seas. But Very Elegant was brilliant first up. Avilius was great first up. But let's get a feel for the race's history.
Named after a former chairman of the Australian Jockey Club, the George Main Stakes is a Group 1 Weight for Age contest over the mile at Royal Randwick.
But it's Longro's George Main Stakes.
First run in 1945, the race was a favourite of legendary trainer TJ Smith, who incredibly won a record 11 George Mains,
Well, Kingston Town got ahead in front,
including back-to-back wins with the mighty Kingston Town.
And Kingston Town wins about a long header, a half neck to Northern Reward.
The race is a traditional lead into the Epsom Handicap, and George Main winners have also done well in the Doncaster Mile.
Back to back for Sacred Falls beat Ronderson and Weary. Waller gets first, second and third.
And in recent times, this race has been the playground for Winks,
Winks, watch out Melbourne, she's coming back for another Cox plate.
who put her stamp on the George Main Stakes
Here we go again.
with a hat-trick of wins from 2016 to 2018.
Winks moves up on the outside, takes the lead, kicks away. Here's 3 in a row. It's her birthday, and what a way to celebrate. Long live the Queen.
Saw Lorraine chasing hard there. Lorraine runs today, but Bruce, the 14th of September 2011, Jerry's Plains, one of the most magnificent animals in the world, was born, and she celebrated a birthday last week.
So 9 on Monday, Hamia. Winks, who, of course, with those 3, George Main. So in foal to I Am Invincible, and not far off giving birth to her very first foal. So we've seen I Am Invincible today with a double already. He's the leading sire in Australia at the moment. He's been battling Schnitzel for the last 2 or 3 years. So there's the darling. She's looking good, isn't she? So she's not too far off having that first foal. So, yeah, she actually celebrated her 9th birthday on one of these George Main days when she won. So 3 of them in total. It's been a terrific race, as Katie said. Shannon won a couple early on. What a great horse. Kingston Town won a couple. Here's Winks. Now, the Godolphin Blues Haraki on this occasion. I mean, we've seen her with Hartnell and Avilius and so many of those Godolphin horses, but it was a very, very comfortable win in the end. That's her first George Main in 2016. And now, dear Happy Clapper. I mean, we always think of him, don't we, when we think of Winks, and she was able to go up alongside of him this day and move away from him comfortably, and we know what a great horse he was. And again, a comfortable win. These are all on her way to Cox Plates too, Haim. I mean, that was her 3rd Cox Plate, and this is her 4th Cox Plate coming up, and this is her 3rd win in the George Main. And it was pretty easy over Lura Main. As you said, he's the top weight, and the Bill Ritchie in the next. So she won by a widening margin. So just a remarkable mare, the best we've ever seen. And, yep, she 9 on Monday. Happy birthday, girl.
Absolutely. Chris Waller stable. She is being ridden by James McDonald. She was so gutsy first up. And also Avilius. He was great first up. And, well, Behemoth, cheap buy, doing amazing things. Can he make it 3 from 3 this prep?
birthday 12 months ago, Sam Clipperton decided to stop riding and have a break, 3 months on the sideline. Now he's back riding in fantastic form, and his fresh approach has certainly been paying dividends in the last few weeks. Sam, you had a great run over the last few weeks, but having that break has really reinvigorated you back into racing.
It certainly has, Liz. Yeah, look, I'd been a professional jockey for 10 years without any real break at all. I left school at 15, straight into the stables, working hard to chase my dream, and I've been able to achieve that at a young age, luckily, and been able to ride overseas for 3 years. And I came back home and I just felt burnt out. I was burning the candle at both ends and just kind of lost the passion for it a little bit. So I just decided to take some time off without sort of making a comeback date, just letting myself sort of decide what I was going to do next, and it really ignited the fire in the belly again. I have a different outlook on my profession, and I realise I'm very lucky to be able to do what I'm doing and do something that I love as a job. So I've been back since February, and things are going really well. I've been working really hard, and some bigger opportunities are starting to come my way.
You had 9 Group 1 seconds, just an inch off of getting your first Group 1 back for quite some time. Can you do it in the George Main Stakes on Star of the Seas?
Well, I'm hoping so. Look, it's only 7 runners, but you could make a case for at least 5 of them. So it's going to be a very exciting race. I've had 2 Group 1 seconds on Star of the Seas, so for the horse's sake, the connection's sake, and my sake, I really hope we can turn the tables and cross the line first.
Great to hear from Sam. We've just had a Group 1 in New Zealand, the Tarzino, and Avantage was the favourite, went around $1.85. Let's just have a look at what happened to Hastings.
They come, and here Deerfield over on the inside, the outside, the mitigated Tavimac comes after them, Avantage comes after them, Kiwi Ida and Call Sign Mav getting through, closer to the inside, hits the front here, Call Sign Mav, Avantage, Tavimac, and Kiwi Ida over on the outside, Call Sign Mav, look at Superior Fly, Call Sign Mav to the line, gets the prize, a blowout.
Avantage, Bruce, $1.85. Call Sign Mav, I've just looked at the numbers, about $91. You thought that you might get run down, but no, John Barry, the trainer of Jimmy Choo.
He was, and John Rodelli rode the horse. They were the Jimmy Choo connections, weren't they? And the sire of that horse, Atlante, no longer with us, but Emily Bossel brought that horse to Australia. He won a 2,000 guineas. So, look, a rough result in a way. And for Avantage, what does that mean? Does she still come to Australia and run maybe in an Empire Rose? Not so sure. She was OK, but she probably should have won that race if she was on her way, and has a Group 1 chance in Australia this spring.
Yeah, you would have thought so. The George Main, though, that's where we focus our attention at Randwick next. And Emily Boston, she's had a look at the contenders.
A small but quality field of Wait for Age stars are set to battle over the famous Randwick Mile in this year's George Main Stakes. Chris Waller, as always, has a strong hand. His 4-time Group 1 winner, Very Elegant, looms as one of the stars of the spring after her first up win in the Wings.
What a courageous performance, Very Elegant from Star of the Season, a close one.
Not far behind was stablemate Star of the Seas and Imaging, while Colding returned to form when second in the Tramway.
Dreamforce, what a hard-fought victory.
And the winner, John Thompson's daring frontrunner Dreamforce, is again a threat here. The Blue Army is well represented by last year's victor, Avilius.
But here comes the big A. Avilius moved up, takes the lead and starts to draw away.
As well as Oaks winner Colette, who steps up to Wait for Age for the first time.
It's a spectacular win in the Oaks and a great ride in the process.
Waller, Thompson or Cummings? Who will emerge on top in this prestigious Group 1 mile?
It's a great question, Emily. Chris Waller, 4 of the 7 runners, Katie. James Cummings, he's got Avilius, and down the bottom, Colette, and John Thompson. Just the Dreamforce, who was super last start, Katie.
Yeah, you can make a case for every single runner in this race. Avilius is he's an old marvel. He's a 3-time Group 1 winner. He won the race last year, and there's no doubt that he'll be cherry ripe for today. And look, I'm hoping Very Elegant. She can do it again, second up. She's a marvellous mare, and I'm hoping that she can take out the George Main today.
And Bruce, in terms of Australasian horses with a Group 1 resume, you've got a bit of a list together.
You think we talked about Wings today and at 25, which is just ridiculous. Black Caviar 15, Hayne. But these are the ones that are currently racing in either Australia and New Zealand. Melody Bell with 10. I mean, one of them in Australia. Sandra Anna Lane's got his 5. Avantage, who was beaten today. Nature Strip with his form. Very Elegant sits there on 4 Group 1 wins now. So she added to that in the wings. She's won that Tancred. She won those 2 as a 3-year-old filly in the autumn. So I think she's got every chance to get up to 5 today. So like Katie said, Hayne, this is a race where any one of the runners could win.
And Katie, when you look at the speed map, how do you see it playing out?
Well, Dreamforce will definitely be forward. He does have the blinkers off. The winkers are still on, but he's just a natural front-running horse. I think Very Elegant. She'll be sort of midfield behind the speed. I think horses like Imaging and Colding, they sort of don't really have a choice for him out there. I hope that Colding pushes forward, sits outside Dreamforce. Avilius will be back as well as Star of the Seas, but they won't be far away, and I'm sure that they won't go blistering out in front. So every horse should get their chance.
Thanks, Katie, very much. As we head into the mounting yard, the George Main Weight for Age, 1,600 metres. Avilius, really good. I thought first up, ran 4th, just a length and a little bit behind Mr. Seawolf.
He did. He really attacked the line there. He looks like he's come on a great deal from that run too. He's a star galloper. He hasn't won since this race last year, but if he's not too far away from them, I think he'll definitely be in the money. But the improving track probably won't help him. He does like it to be a little bit on the softer side.
And Avilius won last year, as you said. Dreamforce was the runner-up to Avilius.
That's right. He's just so brave and honest, isn't he? He goes forward. He always tries his heart out. And if he gets a soft enough time in front, I think that he can make a little bit of a show. He's certainly fit enough, and he looks like he's gleaming in the yard. He's a good old tough campaigner.
Tommy Berry and Chris Waller, Bruce with Colding, had every chance here last start, but it was a sign he might be returning to his best, I thought.
And it was on this day last year that he really got his spring going, wasn't it, Hayne, when he won the Bill Ritchie, beat Fierce Impact, then went on to win the Epsom and the Golden Eagle. He'd won a lot of races up in Queensland. It was a good sign. I'd love to see him back to his best because he's as good a miler, I think, as we've got in Australia, if he's at his top, but he's got to prove it to us. Imaging, this has been a long-time favourite of Katie's. He's a very, very promising horse. He's had 6 starts in Australia. He won an Ajax. He was a very, very good run last start. He was pretty unlucky, maybe unlucky. I'm not sure if he would have beaten Very Elegant, but he would have gone very close. So a high-quality horse with a chance today.
Good luck to Rowan, Craigie and all the team in Imaging. Star of the Seas, Sammy Clipperton, we just heard from, another of the Waller runners, Katie.
Yeah, God bless the Star of the Seas. He's been so close, but yet so far from winning a Group 1. He really deserves it, and so does Sam Clipperton to take out his second. It's been a while between drinks, but this horse is flying. If he can get the right run in transit, he's going to be in the finish from that barrier.
Very Elegant. Lots of R's, lots of L's, lots of E's and lots of wins. 9 from 21.
Yes, and she's really not much to look at every single time we see her. She's just the small, athletic version. You know, she's such a very consistent horse, isn't she? She used to be awful to ride, but now she seems like she's really relaxing into her races, and she's a little bit more tractable. And since then, she's just improved out of sight. So she's
so fierce in her races, Katie.
That's right. She used to be so fierce, but now she's relaxing. They're talking Caulfield Cups, Melbourne Cups, so, you know, she must be really relaxed at home, and you can see there the way she's walking around. She looks good to my eye, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Lizzie says about her.
And, Bruce, she has filled out a lot since we first saw her when she arrived in Australia.
She has. I mean, the development's terrific. And this is the other. So these are the 2 last Oaks winners out of Sydney. Very Elegant in 2019 and 2020 Colette, as we look at here. She's interesting. She's almost the most interesting runner in the race. I reckon she's the only one that can't win, Hayne. So what am I trying to say? Well, where does she sit? Because when she won that Oaks, she looked pretty special. Now, it's a big jump up as a 4-year-old mare. She looks well today. I hope Rachel rides her stone cold, really cold. I want to see her hit the line, and then she may go on and do some good things in the spring.
Yeah, the Oaks after the Adrian Knox, both of them were just so impressive. Ben, Group 1 racing at Randwick doesn't get much better than this.
Imaging at 10, Colding at 11, $12 for Star of the Seas, and Colette, the $34 outsider in this field. But Very Elegant, easily the best back. Chris Waller's won this race a few times, but he's still got a fair bit of work to catch TJ Smith on 11.
Colding goes on top. He looks excellent, and I've been waiting for him to return to a bit of form before I started putting him into my numbers, and he did that last start. He continues to improve, and at the each-way odds, he has to go on top. I also thought Very Elegant has paraded nicely. There's no knock on her whatsoever, and Avilius looks as though he's in for a fantastic campaign, but have to go with Colding on top. He looks in great order.
Thanks, Lizzie, very much. So 4 wins from the pick of the yard, and probably a close second to Brandenburg, who won the last. To you, Richo, Group 1 racing, minutes away.
Yeah, only minutes away. Fascinating race. Very
terrific point Richo makes. It really is. And the jostling in this race too, Hayne, because you feel like it just has to be tactical. I'm fascinated with the fact that Dreamforce has been a change of gear. So he wins last start, they take the blinkers off, put the winkers on. So, Katie, do you think they're going to try and nurse him a bit so that he gets that 1600 right to the end, Dreamforce?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why they've taken the blinkers off, just to calm him down a little bit. But still, the winkers will keep him focused. He probably doesn't run out a strong mile, does he, Bruce? But look, if he can get it soft enough in front and be cuddled, he will be hard to run down.
And
Ben,
so, Hayne, go to Ben, Hayne.
Ben, that Tab Hot Horse?
Yeah, Hot Horse is Very Elegant, easily best back, 66% of the hold. And just for Bruce's knowledge, Roy Heron, just a heads up, post-race vet exam, cardiac arrhythmia, so that explains that.
Bruce?
Yeah, there had to be an excuse. Just how aggressive does Jane Mack get here on Very Elegant? She's probably the best stayer in the race, so we're about to find out.
Colding going in. Lizzie Joff's pick of the yard. Let's get to Darren Flindell. Group 1 racing over the mile at Randwick.
And Avilius looking to go back to back. The light is on. Stand by. Racing in the George Maidan. Dreamforce anticipated the start as good as ever, and he lobs a length in front out of the gates. Colding moves forward together with Imaging. Star of the Seas pretty handy. Very Elegant parks behind on the inside of Colette, and 2.5 to Avilius last. So it's Dreamforce in front. Colding edges close at the outside, and Colding looking to get in front of Imaging there, and Star of the Seas holds a spot back on the fence. 2 further back then to Very Elegant on the inside of Colette, and Avilius being ridden stone cold there at the rear of the field. Dreamforce dictating the speed of the 1,000 metres, and Colding is right up on the outside. Star of the Seas handy in third, Imaging fourth, 1 out, 1 back. 2 further back to Colette on the outside of Very Elegant, and still 2 lengths away to Avilius. They've got 800 metres to run, and Dreamforce is running along at a pace to suit himself in the hands of Nasruilla by 3/4 to Colding. A length and a half, Star of the Seas, followed by Imaging. Then came Colette from Very Elegant. McDonald just starting to nudge away, and she's coming away from the fence, and Avilius being stoked up last of all. Dreamforce travels well around the turn from Colding, and Imaging gets cracking, then Star of the Seas. 2 further back to Very Elegant, who's trying to clear Colette. She's been put back in a pocket there. I think she's in trouble here, Very Elegant, and Avilius down the outside. Dreamforce has run his race. It's Imaging and Colding slogging it out. Star of the Seas closing in. Colding's lifting. Colding just in front. Colding goes on to win the George Main. Star of the Sea second, Imaging third, and Very Elegant a luckless fourth. Further back to Colette. Dreamforce weakened out, and Avilius didn't pick up.
Chris Waller, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tommy Berry, another Group 1, and I think that's his 29th Group 1, Bruce. And we spoke about Colding. Could he find his best form? He's found it.
He has, Hayne. 29 for Tommy, 113 for Chris Waller. So level with Team Hawks, or with John Hawks in particular. He showed a lot of fight, Colding. He really did. I mean, it was a race with so much going on behind him. Star of the Seas continues to run so well. Imaging had his chance, nothing wrong. Very Elegant. She just couldn't accelerate. When James had a chance to get out, Katie, she couldn't quite go bang, and then she got banged because she couldn't get a clear run. But it's great to see Colding back, but there were excuses for Very Elegant.
There was. She just didn't really look as comfortable as what she has in the past during the run. But you will see here, James just angling out Rachel King, and that's Hugh Bowman on the outside of her. There was a bit of jostling, and Star of the Seas, he came out underneath her neck as well. But she definitely wasn't travelling as well as the usual Very Elegant. But all honours to Colding. We thought if we lost him last Spring Carnival and in the autumn, he really needed to find his best form. But he looks as though he's back, and he had to do a little bit of work early. I feel for Sam Clipperton and Star of the Seas, another second in a Group 1. But as you said, Bruce, Imaging had his chance, and so did Dreamforce up in front.
And Bruce, Chris Waller is second, Group 1, first 4.
He's quite remarkable. I mean, it's just crazy, Haim, isn't it? And look at him in this race. He won it in 2012, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18 and this year. I mean, Tommy's got 12 and he's got 7. I mean, he is a genius, Haim. I mean, I know he's got a lot of runners, but he's all of that.
So, right. Well done, Tommy Berry. Well done, Chris Waller. Well done to all of those involved in getting Colding back to his very best. It's a big team, Henry, that gets them all there. We're going to take a quick break. Damien Oliver, he's been at his best for a long, long time. He's had falls, he's had injuries, he's had moments where he's doubted himself, but at 48, he's looking for his 120th Group 1 winner today in the Sarupa Clark. He won his first in 1990.